Good afternoon and welcome to KAUST Live. My name is Michelle Ponto from KAUST Communications, and I'm here today with Frank Hong, who was one of our finalists in the Falling Walls competition last year. Welcome to our show today.
Yeah.
So Falling Walls, that was a competition that you participated in last fall.
Right.
Tell me a little bit, what is this competition?
Yeah, so this competition is more like presenting your project and like trying to get try to make an audience know about your project, and actually to get more advices and suggestions from the many other committees, and it's a very good experience.
So I know it's a conference that takes place in Berlin, usually in the fall.
Yeah, so firstly we have to do a competition in KAUST first, and KAUST will select about 3 people and send to Berlin, and in that conference it's going to be about 100 people. Then you have to tell your project in 3 minutes, and it's a very condensed, and you have to precisely describe your project and get the attention from the audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why one of the reasons I have you here today on the show is I know the deadline for entering the competition for the KAUST portion of it is next Friday on the 16th of or next Thursday already, on the 16th of August. So last year when you were submitting your proposal, first of all, why did you submit it? And secondly, what is involved? Do they have to submit a 25-page paper, or what do they need to do to submit their idea?
Yeah, so first of all, I think I'll look into this conference, and I find out it's a very international event. You can, when you go to that conference, you can see a lot of well-known scientists, researchers, engineers, and even angel ventures. It's a very good, place to get your project exposed, so and make it public. So that's why I want to submit my proposal, because I want to make more people know about the future of my project. But in terms of the proposal, you don't really need to submit 25 heavy pages report. It's not necessary. I remember it's only about 100 words, and you just have to briefly describe what's your project about and what's the attractive point in your project. I think that is enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically you just really have to have a good idea.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you needed to know it almost like an elevator pitch, like you only get 100 words, that's it.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you only can do in 3 minutes. And for that proposal, you have to maybe try to make a attractive story, make a story for your project, so people can easily understand what you're doing, but not just give a lot of scientific words and complicated sentences. And then I think then it's good to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can tell me, do you still remember your elevator pitch? Can you still tell me what you put in there, or can you describe it to me in one sentence what your project was about?
Yeah, so my project was trying to use a kind of lava to solve the waste problem and provide a new source of food and energy, which is very exciting to me. And we also, during this project, we find there's a company called AgriProtein in South Africa right now can produce about 100 tons of lava every day. So we see this chance. We can try to combine the whole idea and try to make a new a clean energy out of those lava oil, and also produce the protein, because this kind of lava contains a lot of food and protein and oil. They have also very strong capability to digest any kinds of organic waste. So that's all my project. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched your video online, your 3-minute video.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting how you were able to use something that's around every day, flies and lava,
Exactly.
and use that to help get rid of waste, which is a problem that we have. So using almost an everyday something to get rid of a big problem that we have.
Right.
It's a very good idea.
Thank you.
So after you submitted, so you submit your 100 words, you're in, and that's the stage that people are at now. They need to submit their 100-word proposal, and then they just need to go to the Falling Walls website and look up KAUST Falling Walls Lab to do it.
Right.
And then you have a couple months. I think at KAUST it's going to be end of September 23rd this year when the competition is going to take place. And what's going to happen then? What do you need to have ready?
Yeah, so during that period, you have to I mean, the most important thing still, you have to make a attractive story for your project. Then the KAUST will arrange like various type of workshops. For example, like they focus on communication, marketing, and even like focus on your pronunciation to try to make the audience get easily to understand your project. Yeah, and I also took to my PI, my professor. My professor is Professor Mani, and he is a very very nice nice professor. He also gave me an idea about how to get attention from the audience. For example, he say, well, then you can try to visualize the oil, the bodies, or the energy you can get from like a ton of waste. Try to make the audience more easy to understand. And actually, I find that works out. And after that, I also practice with my colleagues and see what's the reaction during my presentation. So I take like something that they make the eye big, and I take that part into my presentation. Try to like keep the good part and try to make it more condensed. And then when I go back home, I practice with my family, especially my wife. I practice a lot, and before I go to bed, I practice, and I wake up, I do that again, and during the dining table, I do that again. So I think it's more than 1,000 times of practices. Yeah.
Well, you look very comfortable on the video.
Thank you.
And you did an excellent job with getting you did it in less than 3 minutes. You still had another like 30 seconds to spare, which was amazing, because your idea it can be very complex, but you said one of the things you need to remember is that you're not presenting to your peers. You're presenting to investors, entrepreneurs, people from different types of fields, business people,
right.
Other people who just have great ideas. So you can't keep it all sciencey. So how hard was that to remember who your audience was?
Yeah, then I think this is more depending on the idea and how, there's another perspective, because for those people, they want to pay attention to the numbers, the economy numbers. Is it profitable? Is it commercializable? And I also give those numbers during my presentation. So that's probably how I get the attention from those people. Yeah.
Okay, so with this thing, it's presenting ideas.
Right.
So do you have to prove that your idea works, or do you just present the concept of the idea?
You could do either one of them, because like when I was in Berlin, Falling Walls, I see some people have just the concept, and they are doing also a pretty good job, because the whole Falling Walls, they select only 100 people from around the world. They're doing pretty good, but if you have some proof, like experimental works to show that your concept is feasible, then it's going to be more convincing. So, but still, I mean, either without experimental proof or with the experimental proof, both works. Yeah.
Okay. Does everybody have to be a scientist?
Most of them are scientists, like engineers. Yeah.
Okay, so it does help that you're doing your PhD here at KAUST.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give students who are thinking, I don't know if I'm going to have time to get my proposal in? Should they make the time this weekend to sit down and come up with 100 words and submit it? Was it worth it for you?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely worth it, because the whole journey starts from, after this journey, the Falling Walls, I also do a lot of different kind of things, because if you expose your project in front of the public, then people will pay more attention and probably see the future of this project, and you can even push a bit forward to for commercialized. And that's what I'm doing now. For example, I'm doing the startup in KAUST, and it's going pretty well. And we're also working with a company in South Africa that called Agriprotein, because they see we are doing a pretty good job. So I think it's really worth it to make people know more about your work, but not just trapped in the lab and doing something, but people just don't get the idea what you're doing.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Where is the project going now? Do you think that because you made that effort last year to actually sit down, put your ideas into words, practice it over and over, that might have spurred you on to, okay, let's do the startup now. Let's keep pitching this and keep this moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. Because when I try to look into those numbers, we find it could be very profitable and it's going to be commercialized. So that's why, I mean, first of all, like when you're trying to make more people know about your project, then you will think what they want to know. So then I go back to look into those numbers and then start to make more sense, like to make it realize in the real world, but not just just the concept, like the science. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're saying that you went through Tatacam through KAUST to get your startup started. Tatacam. And how was that experience?
It was wonderful. I mean, it's a total different experience comparing to the research work, because for that Takadam, the startup competition, it's more about how to marketing strategy and also make a business model out of your research work, and it's not just about like many details. Oh, there's still many details, but you have to focus on different details, like something related to the economics and industrial economics, and that make me think very differently, but not just in science and those numbers and engineers. Yep.
Do you think that the falling walls and all the preparation you put in there helped you prepare for pitching for the startups? That you're more comfortable in front of people or just speaking to different people?
Yeah, it is, because that Falling Walls conference, you have to make your presentation in just 3 minutes. It's very condensed, and there are a lot of interesting topics and super good idea. I see a lot of them, so I think it does help me to present my project in front of people and get their attention right away. Yeah.
How was it different from, because first you had to present at KAUST and become one of our finalists, and then you had to present not in front of people but in front of hundreds of people who you don't know, who are experts in their field. How was it a difference in feel?
Yeah, it's well, still I remember their story. To be honest, I don't really know the science inside, but most of them the concept and the idea is always very attractive. Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah.
Did you feel like, wow, these people, they are
changing
mind-blowing, and now you're one of them?
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully, yeah. I mean, when I was in Falling Walls building, it's such a good experience, because you can know, like, they're trying to combine like many different fields in together and solve a big problem. So I think it's definitely worth it. Like if you push a bit forward, although it's only 1 week, the deadline is one week before. So I still feel like we should, if you have like ambition to get your project public and make more people know about your project, you definitely have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you would do differently? If you could go back in time and you could say, oh, I wish I would have done this, it would have made a little bit of a difference for me.
Well, I think from my point of view, I would try to make it more attractive, make the story more attractive, like think a different way. Because I remember last time I was trying to use the protein and the oil to use the protein and oil as a benefit of the flies, but still people don't see the flies. If I can put the flies in the auditorium, then it's probably going to be very, like a big shock, like grab all the attention from the audience. Yeah, maybe.
So it's something to grab their attention in some way.
Yeah, because I remember that day there are like 100 presentations. People will get easily tired after, like a lot of brilliant ideas. They will get tired, so you need something stronger to attract those audience attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how that is. I still think your presentation was very good, because I do remember that at the very beginning you caught me with, I don't like flies, but after this you will love flies, and I'm like, okay, now I need to know he's doing something with flies and garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I can push it forward, like trying to maybe change the world a little bit. I'm still not sure. Like I'm trying to try to push it forward and see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your presentation change much between when you presented at KAUST and when you presented in Berlin?
Not really, because at KAUST, they will try to make sure that you can present in the same format, which is like a good format and evaluated by the committee in KAUST. So usually the format won't be changed so much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be changed too much. Yeah.
Okay. So when you came back, you didn't win the competition, but obviously it was still exciting enough for you that you said,
Yeah,
my
it is.
idea is good. It made it this far.
Right.
Let's take it forward. How did it evolve from now an idea into taking it to the startup phase?
Sorry, say that again?
How did the idea, you went from an idea to the presentation, you came back, it's still an idea. How did it now? How did you get it to move forward? What did you do? What changed in yourself or in your team or in your lab or just in your focus?
Yeah. First of all, I have to appreciate my PI, Professor Manny. He's really supportive. After this presentation, we pushed a bit forward and we went to the company. I mean, the company agri-protein again in South Africa. We went there and see the fly farms and see how they grow the flies. And we see a huge amount of lava and oil and proteins. Then we decided to push a bit forward and see how it could be realized in the industry, or like trying to make a new type of renewable energy out of waste. But the catalyst is going to be the lava. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So it's a success story all around.
Hopefully.
Started with 100 words to a company.
Yeah. I still like working hard trying to make this company work. Yeah. But I see there's a chance to to keep moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one last question. Any last minute advice you would give to somebody who's going to enter this year?
Let me think. Yeah, here you go. I think if you are really targeting to go to Berlin Falling Walls, then we try to prepare a business model. If you face an investor who wants to invest on your project, try to make a business proposal and show how it works. I mean, maybe he will put the money right away into your project. I think that's my last advice, so you can make this project realize in the industry as soon as possible.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are watching, remember the deadline to enter is next Thursday, the 16th. You need to just go to the Falling Walls website and then look up the KAUST Falling Walls Lab and enter your proposal. And as Frank says, you need just 100 words, but really make your pitch succinct and interesting. Thank you for joining us today.